Hello everybody, it's Filipe Barros here, your West Coast swing and solo dance teacher, and it's a joy and a privilege to help you on your dance journey. Today we're going to look at how to look next level in your West Coast swing. It's a subject that I'm really dear about and very passionate about, so let's go. So this is a subject, as I mentioned, that's very dear to me, and we're always learning, we're all learning in our journey of West Coast swing, no matter what level we're at. So I'm going to share you some of my opinions and my thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and do share some of yours as well. I'd love to hear some of your thoughts. So we have 8 things I've written down in my notebook here, and the first one is arm length management. So sometimes I see people with a very long rope, we call this the rope, and they it feels like now they're connecting on the bone and maybe on the tendons. We want to connect more into the muscle, and we want to manage how far we are from each other as a leader and a follower, because these tips are for leaders and followers. So I might want to dance with a shorter rope, totally fine, especially if it's faster music. If it's a slower song, maybe have more rope length. For example, I might be doing an underarm turn. So it's a 1, 2. I might start with the rope quite short, and then if I want to, I can release further out if I need to as well. But if I already finish here on 4 with a long rope, 1, 2, 3, and long rope, the follower's already further away, and I've got less things I can do, less room to play with. So that is something you might want to think about as well. So if I was to now introduce our international special guest, she wasn't expecting it. She was behind the camera. What, me? So if I demonstrate with my arm here, I might go 1, 2. I might keep it a bit shorter here, depending as well if my follower, I can adjust the rope depending if the follower is dancing quickly and further away or closer. There's lots of things we can do. There isn't a set length. And then as we do our anchor step for 5 and 6, I can then have all this extra rope to play with here. But if I have a long rope, the follower has a lot more work to do, and they have to travel further. And if the follower has a long rope themselves as well, it also makes it extra long. So let's dance with a long rope, and look how is starting pretty much by my stool, and then let's see where she finishes. 3 and 4, pretty much by the mirror. So now, do you want to work like that for the whole night, dancing social dance and going across the whole room? But now if we go for a shorter rope, by a shorter, I would like to mention as well that we have this, we have an area which we go as maximum. If you put that down by your side and lift it up, this is around the maximum that we recommend to go. More than that starts to be too much. You lose the bounce. It becomes more stiff, and here we have more bounce as well. But of course, sometimes we can go straighter, but that's knowing about the rules and how to use our body. And I would say we can go far in, maybe around the wrist, but if we start to go more than that, we start to lose that control and that gooiness. So if we have a shorter rope now, I'm going to keep maybe a little gap between my elbow and my rib cage. And then we see now where Ha goes as far to. Look at this. Ha has a shorter slot, so she has less work to do. But if I want to, I can release the follower, and they can come further back and fill the space, and vice versa. And the follower, you can manage your space as well with your rope length, and that adds so much more control into your dance. It looks like you know what you're doing. But I see some people dancing with the same length, very long as well. So have a go and see if that helps you by adjusting your rope length. There's a lot more to say. This is just the tip of the iceberg, but we'll be here for the next 2 hours if I was to go through everything. But there we go. Have a go with that and see what you think. So for our next one, we have, thank you, Ha. We have now also a big thing as well is having that stretch. Especially on the anchor step, I call this like the journey from your 5 and a 6 and a 1. How is that stretch? I've mentioned it before a few times. So you might want to think about rolling as well from the ball towards the heel, and transferring your spine over to the side as well. And we want to think about those hips going past our heels here. So I often will see, especially for a follower as well, I might see a follower going 5 and 6, not much happening there. Or we might see a follower going 5 and 6 and 1. Ooh, you can already see that person now is more experienced, next level. Same with the leaders as well. 5 and 6, not much going on there, even the hands leading at the same time. Or 5 and transfer and 1. and then the hand is leading after. It's that shift of weight, the spine shifting, which creates this wonderful moment. I think about everything is moving, but I'm moving from down here in this particular technique. So yeah, I don't just move this by itself, but everything is moving. If I want to, I can open up a bit more, but still keeping that same stretch sensation. I might want to have a bit of stretch from the ribs as well. That's allowed too. But normally, if you're just starting, I would focus more about from the hips first, and then you can start adding more ribs and so on into it. So, great one to practice at home. If you have an elastic band, great practice to do, where you can practice holding elastic band against, in fact, we'll get one now for you. Ha is getting us an elastic band. There she is. Maybe you could be, I could balance this on, I could tie this onto our doorpost.
Yes.
Ha is our doorpost.
Doorpost.
Yes. And we're thinking about 5 and, so we want to keep this, we don't want it to be slack. So we're going 5 and 6. They don't feel my follow doesn't feel my footwork, doesn't feel my weight transfers. We want to keep it with us with some nice connection here, but we're not going too much. For me, we have different numbers between 0 and 10. For me, maybe like a 5 out of 10. So I'm here, I'm going 5 and 6. Now this increases as I'm stretching, but the followers matching my attention if they were stretching as well. And there's only a lead once I transfer and my spine's moving back, and then it creates a lead. Some followers move forward too early and we lose this stretch. So the follower has to be, you're still stepping on time to the music, but you are, we say delaying, but we don't want to give the impression that you're behind the beat. For me, it's more like you're waiting a little bit more before you come, but you're still stepping forwards on 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. If you come forward too early, without any stretch, so come forward now, then this went slack. So some things you can try at home is to tie this onto a doorpost, leaders and followers, and practice. Keep having that nice stretch there. 5 and 6, increase that stretch. There's other things I'm doing here as well, which we're not going to hear at the moment, which is resist the release and so on, but that's coming up later. So, great. Thank you, Ha. Again, I'm just scratching on the surface with all of these points. There's a lot more to say, but I'm hoping this will be stuff that will inspire you and help you in your West Coast swing journey. So, next thing as well is weight transfer when you're moving. So what I mean by this is, with our West Coast swing timing, what we do is I'm going to be a follower now actually for you. We strike on 1 and then we finish off the rest. We're not flexing the foot too much. We're going or we can even count it more, rolling count, E and 1, and then we finish it off and 2E and 3E and the 4E and as opposed to 1, the spine is so far forward, I've got nowhere left to go, so it becomes more stunted. There, I'm exaggerating of course. So that's how we keep that constant movement going here as a follower and as a leader. There's that movement, gradual weight transfers. Leader as well, I'll be stepping 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and 5E and 6E and 1E and 2E. And that really gives you another look. For me, it looks wonderful. So that is our, like a rolling count, weight transfers, a gradual and West Coast swing. If the song is faster, of course, you have less time, but you can definitely still do those gradual weight transfers. So happy practicing, great one to practice at home. I often give my students this drill to do where you're stepping forwards on the front part of the foot and then stepping backwards here. Just on the very first part. You're not finishing any of the weight transfers yet, just to practice. And you might want to swap to the other side, the other foot. Then you might want to start doing some of those weight transfers just for one full weight transfer. And that's a nice practice to do as well. You can even watch yourself in the mirror or record on the camera and see how it looks. These are all drills that a lot of us are doing or have done to help us in our West Coast swing journey. And that's why I think it's a wonderful dance as well, because there's always more to learn. It's great. And you might learn different techniques and you think, oh, which one do I use? And then these are different tools you can use to help you in your journey. Now, next one now, point number 4 is our center counterpoint and resisted release. So center counterpoint is where we connect with our partner in this open hand hold. That's the center counterpoint. We move away from the center counterpoint. As Robert Royston says, we're managing our connection with each other. We're maintenance the center counterpoint. I think it says something like that. So as I'm stretching away, I move away from here. This gap might get bigger. And I'm using something called resisted release, which I'll explain in a moment. But if I'm in a closed position, the center counterpoint now changes to around here. And I'm moving away from here. That's my new center counterpoint. And the follow as well for you. If you're here, your center counterpoint is here. So what basically the idea is you want to fit that your partner is feeling all the stuff that's happening here. We want to try and communicate to here with our partner, our weight transfers, our maybe body rolls. That's how when you watch West Coast swing video and you're like, how is one person doing some movement and the other one's doing the same? It's because they're so connected, they can feel each other's weight transfers, and it's wonderful to see. The next thing as well related to this is resisted release, where we're keeping the muscles under some contraction tone as it gets longer or shorter. And that way your partner can feel everything you're doing. So if I walk forwards, my partner can feel what I'm doing if I have resisted release. If I don't have any resisted release, they won't feel what I'm doing necessarily. Including if I'm going to the sides as well, they can feel resisted release. It's a magical thing in West Coast swing. A lot to say about that. So you can practice with the band, moving backwards and forwards. And we have our special band. We have it here on the stool. Here we are. And Heart is back with our band. And how you can practice resisted release is we keep this with a nice connection there, so it's not slack, it's not too much, just a nice. And then you're going to move forwards by myself first, keeping the slack, the same number as I'm coming, for example, 5 out of 10. And then I can even start practicing opening out, keeping it the same. If I open out and start moving this, that's now affecting, we were leading our partner, which maybe you want to do. But in this case, we're just practicing them feeling your steps like this. And you might notice that as you turn in, it can easily bring the tension up as well. So that's how we can practice our resisted release, like this. If I want to change level but not affect my follower, I can keep the hand where it is, here. But if I move this up, it might take my follower with me. Fantastic heart. Great job. Fantastic. So the next one now, number 5 in our little whistle-stop tour of how to look next level on West Coast swing is body leading, which I would recommend is used a lot of the time, but obviously might not be used all the time. But I might see someone doing a whip. I saw this today actually, and the person was stepping forwards on the whip and leading. And there might be ways you can do it with a twist and maybe lead that, but it looks like they were using the hand. But we want to use our body to lead our whip. If I do another arm turn, I'm going to stretch and use my body. And I can even put weight onto that hip, which create a little twist as well as I do my underarm turn. Or as a follower, we want to make sure that your weight's going onto one side, onto this hip. So the leader can feel it, and then they can lead you with their body as well. So it's amazing how I might see, relating to the stretch issue, where I might see the followers here, and they're not really committing their weight, and they're coming forwards. But to be more next level, we want to see that weight committing onto one side, so we can give each other that away energy, and that will help you be next level. Next one as well is number 8. Number 6 is body movement. I'm a big fan of body movement. Background body motion, where you might have a bit of movement in the body. If the song is more gooey, you might add some more. And I think that can really add a really nice look to the dance. If you feel it's not your style as well, you don't have to do it. But it's a tool you can use. For example, if it's blues, you might not use as much body movement because it's more staccato instruments and so on. So you might want to think about how you move your ribs, your shoulders, even a bit of the hip as well. It can be small ones, it can be slightly bigger ones, some shoulders into it, and that can add another dimension to your dance. So as if I'm following, I'm doing a turn, a pass, I might have a bit of that body movement here. Or as a leader, as I'm leading that underarm turn, I might have some body movement here. There, which adds another dimension to our dance. So that's a good one to practice in front of the mirror, filming yourself, and you might think about how your ribs are moving, like rib shearing, or forwards and backwards, circles, shoulders can go up and down, or go in circles as well. And also, it's important to think as well, sometimes we keep our head really stiff, but the head can be relaxed as well. If it's more of a groovy song, you might have this. Also, you might have a pulse, where you pulse upwards if it's a groovy song. It also adds another look, rather than this, which is straighter. See what you think. And now, our next one, which is number 7, 2 more to go. We have angles. Now, this is something I love. Angles is, some people can be very in this position, but we can play the angles, including on our stretch and also during the dance, starting a pattern, another angle can add another dimension as well. Instead of always being here, 1, 2, 3, and 4, everything is here, 1, 2, 3, and 4, same position. Well, we can also start thinking about angles, but the challenge is to lose connection with your partner now because you're using new angles. But it's good to practice and keep that connection with your partner. So I might be opening up more here. So 1, 2, 3, but now I've opened up, why don't now I go and finish it off going the other direction? So I'm here. So if I can think about, if I open up, I have to close equally the other way. That could be one way of thinking. Followers as well. You might be thinking, going 1, 2, 3, under rotate, which creates some more connection in general. Then opening up could be another way you do this as well. Same for the leaders as well. I might go 1, 2, stay under rotated, which this often will create more connection with your partner. And then opening up for 5 and 6. 1, 2. I can do one-handed moves like a one-handed sugar push. Here, catch the partner and be on an angle, and then come back the other way. So if I can borrow her to show you the sugar push, here she is, doing behind the camera there, very good, thank you very much. So I'm going to do a sugar push, for example, catch with one hand, I can play the angle here and then come back the other way, and now I'm in this new position here, and I can now lead a free spin from here, instead of leading free spin from here, and it adds another look. And now I might even want to add a turn now because I was in that new position. So have a go playing angles, it's a really fun thing. Pre-leading as well can really help, we've mentioned this before. Followers and leaders can pre-lead, I can finish here. And that might also create different looks and different angles, or a follower might finish over to one side of the track. So if Har was to finish over here, for example, that can often help as well with angles and creating a different dimension to the dance. So leaders, have a go dancing a dance. If you're doing any passes, think of, the challenge is, see if I can always pre-lead them. Just try that and see how it feels. You might enjoy that. So that's a little drill you could try. Angles. They add a lot of spice to our dancing. And now, our final one, which is, we'll definitely need half of this one, which is moments of deceleration, which is related to acceleration as well. We're going to focus on the deceleration, where we breathe. Instead of always moving, we have moments where you both breathe. So this works well with cut-offs, for example. So if I was to do a cut-off here, I might go, instead of going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, I might want to add more. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And now it has a different look, more breathing moments. I'll have the rainbow. So 1, 2, then adding a rainbow. And then we might speed up afterwards. For example. So normally in West Coast swing, I'm not completely static. Even if it looks like I'm still, I might still having a moment where something is moving. Where they're like, I've reached the end of my stretch, I'm stretching my partner, I've reached the end, I can still add rotation and keep it moving. Sometimes I'm dancing with a follower, we're stretching away and they reach the end and they're there waiting. But if you reach the end, add something else. You could try that and see if it works. The problem is if you go down, you might lose connection, so make sure you still keep the connection. But that's the way we can keep the movement going. So if I was to do a cut-off from here, I might go 1, 2, 3, 1, 4. And then I might come out of this and might come out with acceleration to add dynamics. Yes. Cool. So I hope that was useful for you. Some tips to think about. That's why this is a wonderful dance. It's always evolving with some great ideas from teachers and workshops. Let us know in the comments which ones you found most helpful, and if you had any of your additional ones as well. And feel free to share links to videos in the description, in the comments below. And I'm very excited to say that I have a community group that I'm going to be starting in November, where we're going to be supporting each other online once a week with different topics, and then you get to meet new Westies and we help each other out. I'll be sharing, teaching lots of material there. So if you're interested, then do contact me. More details in the description below. And if you enjoyed this video, feel free to give it a like and to click on that subscribe button below, and that will help you to get notified when videos are available. Yes. So don't forget to enjoy your dancing and to be yourself on the dance floor.